Welcome to East Alabama Today, featuring topics, events, and interesting people from all over East Alabama. Hosted by Carl Brady. Now, let's get right to the show. Here's Carl Brady.
Hello, everyone. Welcome into East Alabama Today. I'm Carl Brady. Thanks for being with us on our program. As always, we're going to start things off with some contact information so you know how to get in touch with me. If you have an idea for the show, something going on in your community or in your neck of the woods that you would like for us to know about and maybe help spread the word about, then all you got to do is let me know what's going on. Send me an email, cbrady@tv24.tv. That's the best way to get in touch with me. Shoot me the information that's going on and give us plenty of lead time. Don't shoot it to me 2 days beforehand and think that we're going to be able to do in East Alabama Today. We work several weeks ahead of time, so go ahead and start sending me stuff that's happening in the late summer and fall and even on into November, December in those time frames so that we have plenty of time to get together and make things happen for you. But fairs, festivals, special events, things that are going on in your community, with your church, your social organization, your civic club, those kinds of things. We're also looking for interesting people around the community. Maybe you know someone who's a writer, an artist, or a musician. Maybe they have an odd or an interesting hobby and you think they'd be a great guest for the show. Those are exactly the kind of folks that we are looking for here on East Alabama Today. So again, the best way to get in touch with me to share their information is simply send me an email, cbrady@tv24.tv. And remember, you can always go online to tv24.tv and watch archived episodes of the show. If you happen to miss some information, like to go back and review some information, just go to tv24.tv, click on the on-demand button, and that menu there, you'll find East Alabama Today on that menu. Click that, and that'll take you right to our archive page on demand, so you can watch the episodes at your convenience whenever you want to, right there on your computer. Hang out with us. A big show coming up today, so we'll get right to it in just a moment. Well, we welcome you back into East Alabama Today, and thank you for joining us on the program. My guest today is from the Etowah County Council on Aging. Jenifer Grace is with us. Great to have you with us here, Jenifer. And we're going to be talking a little bit about the Council on Aging and the things that you guys are involved with around the community, plus something very specific that is a big topic locally, nationally, and everywhere, and that's elder abuse and the elder abuse awareness. But first off, just give me an overview of the Council on Aging. Almost every community, every county has a Council on Aging, but what do the Councils on Aging do?
Well, we provide programs and services for the senior citizens of Etowah County. Our big thing that we do is the worship coordinator, so we help them with their Medicare, Medicaid, any questions to do with that. But it's just enhancing the lives of our seniors. So we're available for them for many different things. But again, our big thing is providing the service for Medicaid, Medicare, and those type of questions, because it is confusing for them when they turn 65. They get all this stuff in the mail and they just don't know what to do.
Right.
So
it's confusing
we just say, bring it on.
For everyone. Trying to help them figure it out too.
Exactly. We've been around for about 28 years now. So we're not a secret in the community, or we try not to be a secret. We're there for everybody. Even if you just have questions, we can either help you or provide the answer, or send you to the correct person that, could help you. So, if you're ever worried about anything, just call us. We are available.
And you have programs that you say quality of life. So you have things that help keep senior citizens active.
Yes.
And that's a big thing, keeping them healthy, keeping them active, not just sitting at home in a rocking chair and wasting away.
Exactly.
There's so much that people are living so much longer nowadays. People with a lot of knowledge, when they retire at 65 or when they turn 65 or when they retire, don't necessarily just have to go out to pasture. They can still be a major contributor to the community, and you guys help them do that.
We do, and we always say that's the time to start living your life, you know? Live it for yourself.
Yeah.
Don't stay home. You know, there's so much to do in our community, you know, right at the Senior Activity Center. And we provide so many activities throughout the year for, you know, the seniors to participate in. We do exercise at Campbell Court every Friday. We're taking a break for the summer because it's so hot.
Yeah.
But, you know, and those services are free. You know, we don't charge for anything. We have our senior transportation program that we will take them to Etowah County doctor's appointments. Excuse me. And we provide low-income dentures for low-income seniors also.
Oh, wow. And your office is located in the Senior Center in downtown Gadsden.
Yes.
The Eccles Center, is that is it named after Bob? Is it the official name, the Bob Eccles Senior Center? I think, I'm not sure.
It's the Senior Activity Center.
Senior Activity
It may have
Center.
used to be.
Yeah, everybody just calls it the Senior Activity Building in downtown on Broad Street. You guys are upstairs. There is an elevator in the backside so that
There
people can go upstairs to your office without having to climb the stairs. And every time I'm up there, there's something going on from checkers to chess to card games.
Mahjong.
There's always something happening around upstairs there.
Yeah, we like to, you know, those services are provided by Parks and Rec, but there's people up there all the time, and we like to keep it busy because it's a way to communicate and get those people who are up there involved in our programs too. So it's kind of like a big family, and we know that they're all happy, and we're right there if they need us. And so it's easy to get to. You know, if you park in the back and go up the elevator, first hallway on your right.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about elder abuse a little bit. June 15th, a few days ago, was Elder Abuse Awareness Day around the country. You guys had an elder abuse awareness seminar that you've been having on a regular basis for a few years, and it's something that you don't really think needs that much attention. You wouldn't think it needs that much attention, but even here locally in Etowah County and in East Alabama, elder abuse is a serious problem. You have some numbers for me yesterday.
I do. It is a serious problem because, you know, every day 10,000 people are becoming 65. People are turning 65, 10,000. And by 2030, that's going to double. So, of course, statistics are going to double. And so we have been doing this a decade. This is 10 years for us to be doing this summit. So it was a milestone, and we're honored to be advocates in our community. I've been doing this a couple years now, and the first year, the statistics, which was the fiscal year of 2013, in Etowah County alone, it was 242 reports of elder abuse. 2014 fiscal year was 307 reports.
Wow.
And so far this year, through May, 190 reports in Etowah County of elder abuse.
And a disturbing extra fact about that is those are just the ones reported.
Exactly. For every one reported, 23 go unreported.
Wow. So
that is a huge number. And our mission or passion this year to get through to our seniors was for them to recognize all the signs and the protocol on who they can report to, so that if it is happening, they need to do that, because it is so sad for those who things like this is happening to them and no one's doing anything about it.
Right.
And it is a felony now for them, and they will press charges for the people, whether it's family members or neighbors or just someone off the street. And the sad thing is, it's more family members doing it than it is just strangers.
Yeah.
So it's harder to detect because they definitely don't want to tell on their son or daughter-in-law or grandson. He's family, but family shouldn't do that to other family members.
Right.
And so they need to know the protocol. They need to know it's not right. and the signs, and they need to know who they can call. And so that is what we wanted to, the statement we wanted to make this year.
And sometimes it is outright abuse. Sometimes it is just neglect. Sometimes it's not knowing what to do with an elderly family member and taking care of them. But there are plenty of resources out there for people who need to know what's going on. And it's not always just about the senior citizen reporting the abuse themselves. There are plenty, other people, when you're talking about child abuse, teachers, doctors, people like that are required reporters.
Exactly.
If they suspect child abuse in a patient they see or in a child in their school or in their daycare, they're required by law to report that suspected abuse. And so people who interact on a regular basis with senior citizens can be those reporters as well if they think something's not right with someone.
Those who are caregivers or anybody who, is a health professional for seniors, they're required to report anything that they see. But sometimes it's the caregiver themselves. There's plenty of help for that. There's a Bundsman in Anniston through East Alabama that handles situations like that. So there's so many resources that you can go to get that help. There's so many different people that handle seniors, the medical professionals, the doctors, the caregivers, the family, that, you have to watch out. And, you don't want to scare anybody because you don't want anybody to feel that the person that's taking care of you is not going to take care of you. There's so many great professionals out there. But then there's also those who take advantage of people, and those are the ones that you need to just be extra careful, make sure that they're doing the right thing for your elderly loved one.
Well, we need to take a commercial break, so we'll do that. When we come back, we'll talk in a little more detail about some of the signs, some of the things you can do, things to look out for, and the different types of abuse. You've got just plain abuse, and then maybe it's financial mismanagement of their money on purpose, abusing their money and their finances. And there's so many things we could talk about. We'll get to that in just a moment, so hang out with us as we continue with East Alabama Today. Well, we'd like to be back into East Alabama today. We are visiting with Jenifer Grace with the Etowah County Council on Aging. And the month of June is when we talk a lot about elder abuse awareness. June 15th is Elder Abuse Awareness Day. And, elder abuse, we've been talking about what that is. And, there are some things you need to look out for. And again, as a senior citizen yourself, when you're, in most cases, when you're not being taken care of appropriately, but there are other signs that other people can look for. I mentioned financial abuse, not taking care of their finances and their money situation, or just flat out stealing money from them. And banks and bank employees can spot things that are going on.
Exactly.
They know enough about their customers that when they suspect some suspicious activity or see something that doesn't sound quite right, they can sometimes call and say, something doesn't look right here.
Exactly. And a family member should, I'm sure the senior has a power of attorney, but if there's other family members, there should always be some other person, protocol type person that the bank could call to notify them that something's just not right. A lot of the scams that are going around locally are not family members. They're just calling up and pretending to be the grandson or whatever, or granddaughter, and getting them to send them a check, and then that just opens the whole can of worms with account information and
that's a very popular scam right now too. They call it the grandparent scam or something like that. And unfortunately, as we age, we question. We have so many things that happen with our memory, and even if something doesn't feel right, sometimes we question our own process of is it really right or not. But if you're an elderly grandparent and you just get this random phone call from someone that a lot of times they don't say that hey grandma, this is Carl or whatever.
Right.
They'll say, hey, I'm a friend of Carl's and he didn't tell you, but we made a trip to Spain and we're in trouble. We've run out of money. Mm-hmm. Can you wire us some money real quick? Carl mm-hmm. asked me to call you. And Grandma, quick to say, oh, well, absolutely, I'll help, and wires the money, mm-hmm. and then finds out Carl was not in Spain,
right.
that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And that happens so often. It's hard. How do you combat that?
Just with education and advocacy, and continue that with seniors to make sure that when they're answering that telephone, they really know who it is. Maybe some key questions that they can ask to make sure they really are a family member, because a lot of times they won't even ask for a person or ask your name. But through the conversation, you give it. And sometimes that's just natural behavior to say, and they'll say, hey, how are you today? Hi, Grandma. And you say, well, hi, Tommy, how are you today? Mm-hmm. And then they've got Tommy's name. So later on, they're going to call and say, okay, Grandma, this is Tommy. I'm somewhere and I'm stranded, or it's my birthday. Did you forget my birthday? And they're going to send it. And with seniors, they love to have somebody to talk to. Yeah. And those scam artists are going to build that relationship, and they're going to be the ones to give that to them. And, if you're lonely and you need someone to talk to, call the Council on Aging. We'd love to have a conversation with you. We won't scam you, and we are free. And you can call us Monday through Friday from 8 to 4 or come and visit us. And we would love to have that conversation with you rather than someone you don't know.
How much is actual physical abuse? Are those numbers broken down? Are people actually being physically mean, cruel, abusive?
They are. Those numbers that we gave were just reports of some type of abuse, whether it was mental, physical, or financial. The biggest, of course, right now is the financial exploitation, but there is physical abuse going on. Mental abuse is a big one. I would say they're all equally going on in this community. You probably see more of the physical abuse because it's in the newspaper, and it's probably the easier one to notice and see that it's going on. Mental abuse
and unfortunately, by the time it gets in the newspaper, it's usually because something severe has happened.
Exactly.
And it's too late to have done anything about it.
Right, and then there's either a death involved or something.
Severe injury of some sort.
Exactly. Where the mental abuse is a little bit harder because it happens over time. You notice the signs of withdrawal, not communicating, and mental abuse is someone just degrading and constantly talking loud, heavy, mean to them, to where they get to a point they start believing that they're nobody, and so that's a little bit harder to find out if that's going on. And of course, the physical exploitation is going to take a while, and then once the senior figures out that this has happened to them, then they're embarrassed to tell anybody about it. So then by the time they wait, it's sometimes too late to recover any of their finances, and then they just don't have anything. So I recommend with that one, the children, because it goes both ways. There's the children scamming their families, and then there's people from the outside scamming their families. Right. But with the children looking at their parents, notice things like them spending a lot of money that they would have never spent before, or maybe they've given it away and now they have no money. They're not buying groceries, they're not paying their bills, they're not taking care of themselves. Something's going on, especially if you notice those changes are drastic. And so you need to really check into that. We've had some cases since I've been at the Council on Aging, where their families noticed the change, but it had been going on 6 months, and then by then there was nothing they could do for the family, and they were out, and I'm talking $46,000, and that's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
So, and then it's too late to recover. There's too late to report to credit card companies, there's too late to report, and then you don't have anything anymore. So we hope that it can be detected early and something can be done about it legally.
I don't have the capacity to even understand the neglect side of these things. Especially the willful neglect, or the mean things that people do to each other.
Exactly.
But neglect, there are elderly people with dementia, with health problems, who are living in filthy conditions, being left unsupervised, and things like that are not getting their medications on a regular basis, not getting their medications at all, being given too much of their medications to keep them in bed and keep them quiet. The willful neglect is just, it just blows my mind, all of the things that happen with that.
I would say the neglect isn't, it's there, but it's not as big as those other three components. But a lot of times, you send somebody into their home to help them with that, and they don't want to be helped. They want to live in those conditions, and they want to live that way. And if they're still in willful mind, the hardest part is you have to let them. And so even though it's considered what we would consider neglect, that's how they have lived all their life. That's how they want to live. And no one's really doing it to themselves, no one but themselves is doing it to them. But if that's their choice,
if that's their choice, if they're still making those decisions,
then you still have to allow
it.
And I think that's the hardest part for me.
Yeah, seeing some of the things that take place, and you always have to. You always have to consider the mental condition of the elderly patient as well, especially patients with dementia, from experience with Alzheimer's and severe dementia. Those patients almost will always turn on the caregiver and start telling people they're doing something to me. They're stealing my stuff. They're hiding my stuff from me, and it's not happening.
Exactly.
But in their mind, they think it's happening because of the dementia and the Alzheimer's.
Right.
And so there's always a careful line that you, as an investigator, I'm sure with DHR, you have to look at a lot of different sides to these kind of things.
You do. And, with the caregiver, for Alzheimer or dementia patients, they go through so much. I mean, they need to have, we do support for caregivers, and they really need that because they're in a way being physically, mentally abused, but in a different aspect of that, because the patient doesn't know any better.
Yeah.
And 1 minute they've put their glasses down. Well, I mean, I put my glasses down and forget them. That's age-related dementia, I guess. But
to that Alzheimer's patient,
you took them.
You took them and hid them from them.
Right, and you're
for
mean
some reason, that's
and
just
whatever.
the way it works in their head. Yeah.
And you have to be so agreeable with them, because then you have that conflict. Okay, yes, I'm sorry I took your glasses. I will find them for you, and I'm so sorry I won't do it again. Even though in your mind you're thinking, can't believe I'm admitting to this, but you have to do that. That's just the way you would handle that patient, and then they forget they even had the conversation with you, and you go on to the next.
Exactly. A few minutes later, they're going to totally forget it. Yeah. Let's talk about reporting a little bit. We mentioned there are all kinds of avenues for reporting, but if you suspect elder abuse, if you are the victim of elder abuse, if you think something's happening to somebody what is the appropriate course of action?
First, you're going to call law enforcement, and then you're going to report it to DHR, Adult Protective Services. At that point, if you can't get anybody, then you need to call us, and we'll help you get through to those organizations, which generally they have hotlines, 24-hour numbers. You can get through to one of those organizations. But if you're not sure what to do, you can always call us. We can repeat that protocol for you, but that is what you need. If it's a mental, you feel it's a mental abuse, you can call your local well, here at CED Mental Health, you could call the professionals from there. Generally, they work well with the Sheriff's Department and Adult Protective Services. So in our community, all our agencies work really well together. You have to be thankful to live in this community. I am. Our agencies are like one knit family. I can say that because we work together and we're at every aspect of our meetings at this community to make it the best community for all our clients. And so I'm honored to be a part of that little family, and I know that I can call on those professionals if I need them, and they're going to help me. So, we want all our seniors to feel that somebody's going to help them.
Right.
And that was our mission for our summit this year.
We need to take our final break. We'll be back in just a moment with a quick wrap-up, so hang out with us as we continue with East Alabama Today. Well, we welcome you back in our quick final segment. We've been talking with the Etowah County Council on Aging about elder abuse in East Alabama and in our community. The Council on Aging office is located in the Senior Activity Building upstairs there on Broad Street in downtown Gadsden. There you see the phone number and the website. You can also find them on Facebook and on Twitter. Just do a search for Etowah County Council on Aging or the Council on Aging of Etowah County. Either one of those will find you where you need to go for Facebook and Twitter to find out all the things that are going on for seniors around our community. Jenifer, thank you again for being with us
on the program. Thank you, Carl, for always having me here. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And folks, thank you for joining us here on East Alabama Today. Hope you have a great day, and we'll be back with you again next time.